Yeah, hi guys, welcome to Ashish Academy again. Now we are just going to discuss about the different set of services which AWS provides. So till now we have seen that what are the cloud computing, their deployment models, and also we can see that there is some more advantages which is basically using the cloud. So that is also we can see majorly you can see that there are some different ways. So basically we have seen that. So six advantages of a cloud computing, that is also we can see. Right. So there are the six advantages of a cloud computing, and these are you need to understand and basically in terms of when you are considering the cloud computing. So trade capital expense for variable expenses, right? So instead of having invest heavy into data centers, servers like that, you can just request that servers or the infrastructure as per your own need, and you will pay only how much you consume. So it's not like you need to just procure something and keep it with you if it is not used, something like that. So you can use pay only as per your own use like that, right? And you can dissolve also very quickly. So if you let's say shut down your something like that, so you can also immediately you can resolve it. So for that, in if you're talking about cloud, so here basically you can see that these are the basically major advantages from the cloud side. So you can request the resource, you use the resource and they use it, that much amount of expenses you will have. So benefits of massive economy of a scale. So by using a cloud, you can achieve a lower variable cost than you can get your own. So it will be where lowest cost you can just use it, right? And AWS, so cloud providers like AWS can achieve higher economy of scale, right? So basically when now let's say if you consider in your application have 1,000 customers, now suddenly in after 6 months you got a 5,000 8,000 customers, right? So you can scale your application very easily. It's just some few clicks and you can add additional server, then load balancers you can easily use it, then some of their other facilities you can easily use it. It's for as per own demand and as per need. But if you are just basically the go with your own infrastructure, own setup, it is really very difficult to scale, right? Either you need to scale in very much advance, or maybe you need to scale after some of the disaster happens. So capacity, basically stop guessing the capacity. So here you don't need to basically guess the capacity, right? So you can eliminate your guessing your infrastructure capacity needs. So sometimes you need, so there is a separate team normally just plan for the capacity decisions, right? In capacity decisions generally how much basically the load and number of requests required in a particular minute or seconds or a particular months like that, based on that you plan or maybe provide that applications at which extent. Sometimes people do with the predictions, the data passed they received it, based on that they do some predictions like that and then you just do it. But here you don't need to do all these things. With cloud computing these problems go away. You can access as much as little capacity as you need, okay, and scale up and down as required with only a few minutes of notice. So you can easily scale at any point of time where you feel that yes, this much node maybe will be expected at this moment, you can add it, or maybe you can also set up some of that particularly the rules, right? So it is automatically getting scaled up. So much infrastructure cost, capacity planning, all other overheads, it is already minimizing here. Increase the speed and the agility. So in cloud computing environment, the IT resources only a clicks away. So you can just GUI interface you have easily, you can add resources, remove resources, play with the resources. So you don't need to push too much effort to set up the resources and infrastructure like that. So in that case, you completely focus your time on to developments as well as on your business needs, right? So it is nothing to do. Earlier days, people were just thinking about that infrastructure planning, capacity, then discussions like that. Then you need to think about the failover mechanism and other things also. So these things you don't need to do. So they result in a dramatic increase of agility of the organizations, right? So all these things, so major effort and time you can put directly into your development. So stop spending money running and maintaining your data centers. So normally you need to maintain the data centers multiple places. You need to keep it up for just for fire and other physical disasters. So focus on the project with the differentiate your business, not the infrastructure, right? So you don't need to manage your data center servers and everything that is already managed by the cloud providers like AWS. So everything you can just remove it, right? So completely you can focus on that, right? Here you don't need to focus on racking, stacking, powering servers and other things like that. Go global and manage. So basically, they provide a worldwide facility for deployment. So AWS has created a different regions and zones. So you can take up your region and zone as per your own customers, right? So that you can minimize your network latencies and the response time. They also provide that caching facilities so that if there is some content is frequently accessed, then also it can be very much easily available during in that particular region from the cache itself, so that now the customer satisfaction will be getting improved. So these are the things also basically you can consider here. So these are the major advantages, and we have seen the different category. Now we will see the different services basically. So if you will see the services, right, I will open that another window. One minute, 1 minute. Right. So you can see here basically there are a different solutions also AWS provide by the use cases. Also you can see here pricing, also you can see documentation solutions. First we will see industry. So if you wanted to see some of the backup resources, so you can just use it. Archiving, you can just see it. Cloud migrations, containers. So these are the by the use cases. Database migrations, data lake analytics, DevOps, e-commerce, edge computing, front end, like this, right? So AI services, these are the basically artificial intelligence, right? So with these are, you can just take it up these services. right? These many services you can use it. ML, machine learning services you can use it. Infrastructure services, like this. So by industry also, so these are the basically if you wanted to use by the industry, so you can see the by industry advertisement and marketing, so you can see that, right? So there are, they have categorized in the by use cases, by industry, by organization type as well. So also you can see that government, if you will see that particularly based on, so games tech, so what are the basic services are requirement for game tech, the companies who are basically building this especially for games, government, so basically companies who are basically working in the government departments, healthcare and life science, so like that they have also make a, some separate sets of services, right? So here you will see that features analytics, application integration, right? So these are the basically services you can just use it. AWS cost management, for that you can use AWS Cost Explorer, AWS budget, right? So these are things you can just use. Blockchain also you have that, right? For compute, you have that Amazon EC2, which is basically EC2 instance, auto scaling, right? AWS Batch, Elastic Beanstalk is very powerful service for deployment purpose. AWS Lambda for development, any code if you wanted to use it through a Node.js, Java like that. Containers, basically, yes, these are the container-based services generally which you use for, which is through, you can say Docker and the Kubernetes. So Amazon EKS anywhere basically you can use it, right? And Elastic Kubernetes service, right? And ECS anywhere and Elastic Container Service basically, which is you can use with the Docker. So these for DevOps, customer engagement you can use it. Database is very much popular. Amazon Aura, then Amazon, so serverless also we have Document DB, Elastic Cache, right? So these are the basically different set of services. So Document DB is nothing but just with compatible with the MongoDB compatibility, right? So these database services provides RDBMS as well as a NoSQL as well. Developer tools, these are the basically developer tools which you wanted to use it. So these are the basic services. Machine learning you can use it, Amazon SageMaker, right? So these are Amazon Augmented AI. So these are services generally used for machine learning purpose. So these are the feature services which is basically is different services which you need to understand that, right? So as a developer you don't need to understand. As a solution architect, yes, at certain level you need to have understanding for that, not for each and everything, because these are a number of very vast services are there, right? So here you can also see some different this serverless component. AWS Lambda, here just you can start writing a code on UI platform, that's it. Amazon DynamoDB, so a managed NoSQL database. API gateway is very powerful service. If you wanted to use a messaging, they can, you can use a simple notification service, right? Right. And here simple queue service. And storage, basically we use Amazon S3 simple storage service for any storage purpose. So these are the basic, these are the services category we will see here. So that is you need to understand.